I figured out that if you want ChatGPT to do a single task well, you're better off fine-tuning it than prompting it. Here's why. So I wanted to use ChatGPT to find the best part of a video to automatically create shorts. So I went on YouTube, I got the transcript from a YouTube video, and then I put it in a simple prompt. All I did is I put a transcript and I said extract the best segment from the transcript to be used as a short video. But unfortunately, it's not that easy as that, because ChatGPT only returned the whole transcript without cutting a short from it. So what I did is I created a more complicated prompt so that ChatGPT would really understand what I wanted to do. So I specified that the video was a podcast and that I wanted a 30 to 60 second segment from that podcast. I also gave it a specific format to give it to me. But then, every time I made a mistake, I had to add something to the prompt in order to fix that mistake. For example, one time it was too short or too long, so I added that the clip must be at least 30 seconds and at maximum 2 minutes. It's important. And then it outputted multiple clips. So I added output only one clip. And then it outputted random stuff. So I said only output between the quotes, nothing before, nothing else. But the problem is that eventually I ended up with a prompt so complex that it was impossible for GPT 3.5 to do everything I asked it at once. It was simply not intelligent enough. So I had to find a better way. Fine-tuning a model is when you use a general model, such as ChatGPT, that was trained on the whole internet, and you feed it specific example of something you want it to do, so it gets better at that task. It will then create a custom version of ChatGPT that will be way better at doing this specific thing, and you can use it the same way you did with regular ChatGPT. So what are the examples that you want to give it when you want to fine-tune? Well, it says on OpenAI's website that you want to use the prompt that gave you the best result even before you did the fine-tuning. But at the same time, you can use a way simpler prompt because it will learn by the examples you give it what you want it to do. So I settled on a pretty small prompt. I gave him the transcript in a markdown format because it was trained on this format, and then I set the most basic instruction I could. Extract the best segment from the transcript to be used as a short video, but then I also added some more instructions. Only copy text from the transcript, do not create or modify text. And the reason I added those is because sometimes it would go completely off script and just invent new text, and other times it would try to correct or modify the text, but what I wanted was a word-by-word transcription. But for fine-tuning to work, it needed hundreds of examples, and it would be way too long to do manually. So what I did is I went to YouTube channels that had both videos and shorts that came from those videos. I started by downloading everything on the channel. I then had to match those shorts to the YouTube video they came from. I did it in two parts. First, I compared all of the words of the short to all of the words of the YouTube videos, and I created a list of candidates with the highest percentage of words that matched. It was not an exact match because sometimes there were cuts in the short, and sometimes the automatic captions from the YouTube videos are not the same as the automatic caption from the short. To fix that, I used a sliding window, which basically means that I moved the short transcript to the whole video transcript until I found the best match. If the match was good enough, it meant that the short was truly from this video, and it also gave me the approximate position of the short in the video. Because I needed the exact position, I did another sliding window with the first 4 words and also with the last 4 words until I had the exact position of the short in the video. I then repeated this process for the hundreds of videos that I had, and then my training data was almost ready. All that was needed was to put it in the right format, which means a series of messages. And a message is simply the user with a prompt, and then the assistant with the answer. I was then ready to train the AI. The training is actually the easiest part. All you need to do is to take 10% of your dataset and put it in another file for validation. The reason you need it is that you need to check if the AI is actually getting better at the task or if it's only getting better at remembering the examples you gave it. By having a validation dataset that it has never seen before, you can test it every time to see if it's actually getting better. If the validation and training loss are both going down, it means the AI is learning. But if the validation loss starts to come up, it means that it's not remembering the examples and you need to stop the training. So go to the OpenAI playground, go to the fine-tuning section, click on create, choose your model, upload your training and validation file, and then click on create the fine-tuning job. So let's see what happened. As you can see, my loss graph is not looking too good. It's all over the place, even sometimes going up higher than the initial value, which means it actually got worse at the task. But in the end, both the validation and training loss are down from the initial value, which means that it should be a good result nonetheless. There are two potential reasons as to why the loss is so messy. First of all, I only gave it 300 examples to train on, which in the world of machine learning is not a lot. The other reason is that if there were many potential clips in the transcript, but it did not give the same one as from the example, it got 0 points, even though it could have been a pretty good clip nonetheless. What about the cost? Well, on OpenAI's website, you can see that you're charged by the amount of text that you're giving as examples, and the amount of time you're going to go over the same examples. In my case, it came out to $12 US. As for the cost of running it, it costs 3 times more than the base GPT 3.5 model, but it's still 10 times less expensive than ChatGPT 4. So now let's see if the new model is actually better than the base model. So we're going to first of all test GPT 3.5 by giving it the transcript and asking it to come up with a clip. But as you can see, it's way too short and it's not even that great. So now the moment of truth, let's see how it goes with the new custom trained model. And as you can see, the clip looks pretty good, the length is right, it seems to start at the right time and at the right time. So let's see what it looks like in a video.
There's a lot of loneliness and sadness in the world. Here, I can give a very easy piece of advice that worked a lot for me. Instead of telling yourself that you have these ridiculous standards, tell yourself, I can be better. Right? I don't have to be a great writer. I could be a better writer. I don't have to be a great podcaster. That will never happen. I could be a better podcaster. I could be a better person. I could be a better at the gym. I could be better with my time. And when you regard things in those, and especially if you have metrics that you can go by, you know, for example, I'll run this many miles a day, things you have control over. If you, especially as males, when you have this chart and the data is telling you you're improving, right away, it's like you have this sense of accomplishment.
So as you see, it was pretty good. It found a nice clip and it cut the beginning and the end perfectly. Now stay tuned if you want to see how we track the faces of the people in the video and how we use that information to crop the short.